Howdy again, this is Jarls Stewart, and this is another part of Jarls commentary. There are many things that involved in having a group, and one of those things, if you're the leader of the group, is the politics of modern Viking. I'm not talking about politics like Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, and everything like that. As a general rule, that type of politics should probably be kept away from your actual group process. What I'm talking about is group politics amongst the modern Viking. You have plenty of issues in which many of the groups actually have a varying different opinions of. Many of those things are like authenticity or racism or rules within the group that can get somebody banned, such as, sexual harassment and everything like that. Believe it or not, those are still issues. Now, part of the politics that you need to get into and really, invest towards is finding like-minded groups that you are capable of being around. That you can at least put aside whatever differences you may have to basically further the Viking community. Now, realistically, in an ideal situation, none of those things should matter, and groups should be able to get together in large numbers to do, large battles and everything like that, and make the modern Viking scene more than what it is now. Instead of having battles where it's just one group against itself or another group against another group, where the sides are 10 against 10, we could have battles much like they have in the European scene, where there are hundreds of people, possibly even thousands on each side. And that's honestly what we should work towards here in America. But part of the politics that you're going to get into as a group is making alliances. Now, there are groups out there, the alliances are basically as easily broken as them just saying it. Because some Viking groups don't take the scene very seriously. To them, it's very much so just another LARP. But some groups, when you say that you're going to be a part of an alliance, they expect it. They want to be able to call upon your group to go to their festivals and vice versa, so that you can build a much greater scene in your localized area. My group, Dansk, is allied in something called the Mything Alliance. And there are a couple small starter-up groups, but the main groups that are a part of the alliance that are well formulated at this point in time are the Stormcrows and us. Now, they are in Oklahoma. We're in Ohio. That's 11 hours worth of driving away. And thus far, we have had two different points in time in which, one, the Stormcrows have sent somebody to us, and two, we sent somebody to them. It was an actual political move. And if you're actually considering how far that is, in Europe, you would be spanning Europe, the continent, in its entirety at least 1.5 times. So it was a big deal. And both groups had their guests with honor. We housed them and fed them to the best of what was needed. We held celebrations. We actually created a song for the alliance itself during the first meeting. Gifts were given, not just peddly little things, but, stuff that meant a lot. In fact, actually wearing a little bit of it, one of the bead makers from the alliance members that was there gave us some of the Stormcrow colors and some of our own colors. When they came here, we gave them spears, chests, and everything like that. Stuff that costs a lot of money and everything like that. But it's not necessarily about the money. It's about the effort put into your alliance. This is an opinion of mine, but if you're going to make an alliance with another group, you have to treat them just like members of your group. If at any point a Stormcrow, due to things unforeseen, winds up in Ohio, living in Ohio, their rank and position is automatically translated to our group so long as there is a position available. The rank just transfers over instantly. Because we know them well enough to know that they are close enough to our group that they are going to fit in just as any one of our other members. And this is a part of the modern Viking movement that we need. There needs to be a free flow of information and personnel so that we can keep this thing growing. In future videos, we will be releasing multiple patterns and everything like that for stuff that our group has had success with, such as our gloves, which are super cheap and super readily made and available for new recruits and work exceptionally well for what they are. Then there's also the bell tents that we've had an extreme success with within our group, given the fact that it cuts the cost of being able to house a group member or group members down to next to 10 to 20% of its original cost, because you no longer have the wood in it, and on top of that it takes less canvas material to make the tent. So we want to share all that information because our group politics is that we want to be in business with every other group. We don't want to make this an isolated group. We want to be able to go out there and help other groups. As it stands, we have an open offer to have our trainers and our crafters go to other groups and help them get started, even from nothing. We have an open invitation to have other people from other groups come to our group and learn how we do things and share their knowledge of their group with ours. Because we believe that the free flow of information is what's really going to get this Viking scene moving in America. Because realistically, every single American group has one major disadvantage when it comes to doing my Viking Age reenactment. And that is the fact that the Viking Age is not a part of our history yet. I still have hope that we're going to find a Viking settlement somewhere in the United States. We're getting close. We have one up in Canada that is confirmed as close to being Viking as possible. I don't know the exact official determination as of right now, but the modern Viking movement considers it a Viking settlement, given the fact that it's as close to what the sagas talk about as Vinland as possible. Now, that major thing about it not being a part of our history is a big issue for us, because we have no problem having people doing Civil War reenactments or doing Revolutionary War reenactments or even doing World War I or World War II reenactments, because that was such a major part of American history. It's taught in our history classes. But the Viking Age wasn't taught in any of my history classes, and so far for my children, it hasn't been taught. So you as a group need to decide politically where you stand. And that's all I have time for today on this particular topic. I'm sure there's going to be multiple videos on this topic, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, and let's get this moving.